What's up, IGN? Brian here, and I'm here with my good friend
Vince.
Vince. We're playing some Dota 2.
We are.
The new Bloom Festival is going on in Dota, and it released 2 new heroes. And we're going to take a look at Terrorblade, this nice-looking guy on the screen right here.
This guy looks baller as hell.
So tell me about this guy. What's up with him?
So he's an agility-based melee carry with really high starting armor. And his starting armor is 7.
I believe that's the highest in the game.
I think, to my knowledge, to my memory, it's the highest in the game, and it scales up really well. You can see here we have him up at level 25, and his base armor is a 26. So he's going to be really resistant to basic right-click attack damage, which is going to help him in some of those slugfests he's inevitably going to find himself in. And it's good that he has that high starting armor, because he actually has pretty low starting hit points. 435 is his starting hit point. So he's a little on the paper-thin side in terms of raw hit points, but yeah, certainly that high armor is going to help him stand up well in the laning phase.
All right, well, let's jump in and take a look at his 4 skills then.
Sure. Okay, so his first ability is called Reflection. That's his Q, and it creates an invulnerable, uncontrollable copy of the enemy hero that you target, and then that copy will go ahead and attack the original, slowing him in the process as well.
The really cool thing about this is it also slows the hero's movement speed and attack speed by 60%. That's really huge. It's also very cheap and spammable, so you can use it over and over. Very, very useful skill for a lot of different situations. Terrorblade's second ability is called Conjure Image, and what this does is it creates an image of himself that deals a percentage of his damage, but takes 300% damage. That's a pretty common thing for illusions in this game. They take extra damage.
Yeah, they usually do take extra damage. They don't commonly deal as much of their owner's base damage as Terrorblade's does. That's one of the utilities of it. And the other nice thing about it is that because its uptime is 32 seconds and the cooldown is only 16, you can have potentially 2 up at all times, provided that they don't get killed or that your mana, holds out. So Terrorblade's third ability is very potent. It's called Metamorphosis, and it turns him into this huge hulking demon, and he gets a ranged attack that's got 550 attack range, and it also provides him a lot of bonus damage, up to 80 extra bonus damage per attack at the max level, which is very substantial.
Right, even in the late game, 80 damage is nothing to ignore. That's very, very powerful. The other really cool thing, well, not so cool thing, let me take that back, is that it has a 140-second cooldown. That's more than a lot of ultimates.
Sure.
So you really want to be careful with this thing and when you use it. The other great thing, and we'll show this off here, when you create a copy of yourself, which is the skill we talked about last, that image also has your ranged attacks.
Right.
So this is a lot of damage at range, really good for like pushing towers, or if an enemy is locked down at range with a stun. It's very, very useful.
Absolutely.
Terrorblade's ultimate ability is called Sunder, and it swaps HP with a target enemy hero or ally.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly useful, as you're about to see right here. So you can be on the verge of death and then completely reverse the fortunes of a one-on-one duel like that. The nice thing about it has a couple of little extra nuances to it. It will go through magic immunity like a BKB. It interrupts channeled spells and teleports, and at the maximum level, its cooldown is only 40 seconds, and it costs nothing to cast at that point. So you can definitely have it up and ready for every team fight, and in any even minor incursions, it's fine to use it for with a cooldown that short.
Terrorblade's Reflection skill is a very potent slow, and it's cheap and you can spam it over and over again. So what this means is he pairs well with heroes who have very difficult to land abilities. For example, Pudge's Hook.
Absolutely, Brian. And another thing to keep in mind when you're trying to pair Terrorblade with other heroes is that while he's got all these spammable targeted abilities, they're very powerful, he doesn't have the best intelligence growth, so he can run out of mana rather quickly, especially in the early and mid-game. So it can be nice to pair him with someone like Crystal Maiden, who's got that passive that can increase his mana regen, or Keeper of the Light, who can use Chakra Magic to refill his tank when it gets low, so he can keep on keeping on with spamming his skills. Okay, so that's it for Terrorblade, the Demon Marauder. As you can see, he's got some big burst damage capabilities with his Metamorphosis ability and his ability to call in illusionary copies of himself. And he's got the ability to turn around team fights and one-on-one duels with his ultimate, Sunder.
Let us know what tactics you figure out for Terrorblade in the comments. And be sure to check out our guide for Phoenix, the other hero released in the new Bloom Festival. And for more on Dota 2, keep it right here on IGN.